It's time for the Warm-Ups Weekly NFL Injury Report with American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine's Dr. Steven Stoller. Visit them online at drstoller.com.
1:20 on a Friday, Football Friday, as we welcome in Dr. Steven Stoller from the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Always kind enough to join us with our NFL injury reports. We had to wiggle some things around, but he's good on a Friday. Doc, how you been?
I'm good. How are you, Rich?
I'm doing real well, and we got some notable players. Let's get into it. Alex Smith suffered what a lot of people thought was a concussion last week to the Colts. He went out, went through NFL concussion protocol, went back in the game, took another major hit, and I know Andy Reid and the Chiefs were getting criticized all week. And I'm just wondering, in your dealings, if a player sustains 2 hits like that in a game, and I'm just from a medical standpoint, wouldn't you want to err on the side of caution? Because I'm thinking now, how do you know when even if he passes these tests going forward? I know Foles is going to get the start, but that's something that you have to be wary of, and you certainly don't want to put him back out there if he's not ready.
Yes to everything that you said. However, they have a very strict protocol that he would have to pass in order for him to go back in, and they also, they have an independent NFL, observer to make sure that he does pass. But yes, just like in boxing, there are cumulative effects of concussions. So, you would think that he would not be able to return. And thanks to the OR staff at Health East where I work and just left, they informed me that he's not playing this week. So I think that's probably a wise decision.
It is. So Foles is going to get the start, and I think sometimes you always have to certainly err on the side of caution. Sticking with the Chiefs, their veteran running back Jamal Charles had exploratory surgery Wednesday on his right knee. It was performed by Dr. James Andrews, and the Chiefs were trying to determine why there was such lingering pain from his reconstructive surgery last season. This is the same knee that he had an ACL surgery on last season. So I'm just wondering, why would there be lingering pain? And you look at his career, I mean, the last several years, he's really been banged up.
Well, I mean, that's the style of his running, and, I'm not surprised. But as far as ACL reconstructions are concerned, they're all done very similar. However, each surgeon has his preference of where he's going to take the tissue to replace the ACL, whether it's your patella tendon or hamstrings. And I personally like using a cadaver graft since you don't have to substitute your tissue. So when you do substitute your tissue, it's not uncommon to have pain due to scarring, due to adhesions, and even over the site where the graft was harvested. So with Dr. Andrews, I'm sure it's not a big deal. He'll recover probably in 3 to 4 weeks.
So there's a potential that the Chief potentially could play again this season.
Oh, I would think so.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but they certainly, like I said, I mean, he's a tough nose back. So 2 significant losses thus far for the Chiefs. And again, our weekly NFL injury report with Dr. Steven Stoller from the American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Again, you can call ahead, certainly book an appointment at 201-261-2000, located at Heath House Medical Center in Inglewood, New Jersey. All right, we get a ton of Dallas Cowboys fans that tune in and chime in. So they had 2 significant losses last week, even though they won the game against the Cowboys. Barry Church, their safety, fractured his forearm. Now, by all accounts, he's not expected to need surgery. So this type of injury, they say 3 to 4 weeks. Is that an accurate timetable?
The problem with the Cowboys is that you get Jerry Jones and his son making the medical, diagnoses to the press. So it's very hard to figure out what they really had. So I have to assume if he had a forearm fracture, he was probably blocking a blow with a solid object, and that's called a nightstick fracture. And if you go along your forearm, the bone that's most superficial is the bone that's fractured. If both bones were fractured, you would definitely need a surgery. However, again, it takes about 12 weeks to heal. Now, he might be able to play in a cast in 3 to 4 weeks, but I would recommend a minimally invasive titanium plate and screws, and then I don't have to worry about it, and then he could certainly return when the wound heals in a cast. But, the Cowboys are the Cowboys, and that's what they stated, and I don't have much more information, but if that's what it is, I think, it's a little bit soon for him to go back.
Morris Claiborne, their cornerback, groin injury. Now, again, that's led to concern about the need for sports hernia surgery, although, as you alluded to, sometimes with these reports, you never know what's accurate or not. The plan for now is for him to rest, rehab the injury in hopes that it won't be necessary. How do you kind of go from a groin injury to potentially sports hernia surgery?
Actually, it's a really good question, Rich. When the lower body is twisting, and like a cornerback, running back, and these guys are powerful. You have two muscles that are actually pulling against each other. The groin muscle that originates in the lower pelvis with the abdominal muscles that insert above the groin muscles in the pelvis, directly above. So they're opposing each other, and usually you can get one or the other that can tear. So if you tear the abdominal muscles where they insert into the pelvis, that usually needs to be repaired. If it's they could certainly play him if he's comfortable. I don't think he's going to do that much damage, and so if they rest him and he's able to play, they can play him. But he probably need surgery after the season, and it's usually very successful, quick recovery surgery.
So, again, some significant injuries for the Chiefs and the Cowboys as well. Dr. Steven Stoller, check him out online, drstoller.com, American Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. Again, you can book an appointment, not always necessary, but 201-261-2000. Get those weekend warriors out and about as quick as possible. Last for you, do the Jets get a much-needed win against the Dolphins?
I think they're starting to fall apart mentally. I mean, I saw, Revis.
He's breaking down. His body's breaking down.
It's either I've never seen an athlete of his skill drop so quickly without really major injuries. So I really have to question what's going on. Is it mental, emotional, or did he really drop that quickly in his skills? Because I see him miss a tackle. I mean,
yeah, he's out of position a lot. He's getting beat deep.
Yeah, he's getting beat deep, and he used to, be able to block the receivers at the line of scrimmage, but he never missed a tackle. And I saw him miss a tackle poorly last week. So, and I sense that there's going to be dissension in the locker room soon whenever you have a losing team. So I think this might be a good one for the Dolphins.
For the gamblers out there. All right, Doc, enjoy your Jets on Sunday. By the way, Jets and Giants, that rare, they both kick off at 1 o'clock, which is extremely rare, of course.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time that happened.
It happened. It happened a couple of years ago, but it's pretty rare.
But for your gamblers out there, just to give you some words of wisdom from not listening to me, I once spent a day in Las Vegas and bet on every game and lost every game. So I can't imagine what the odds are. That would be like the same odds as winning every game. But I lost every single game.
There you go. That's a great PSA. All right, I go the opposite. We don't want to call Dr. Stoller a mush. He's not a mush. He gives us great insight. But as far as that game, stay away.
Don't bet with me. That's
right. Doc, enjoy the game, pal.
Great weekend.
All right,
Take care.
you too,
Bye.
bud. All right, you got it. Dr. Steven Stoller. Good stuff.